Coming up on today's episode of Airborne-Unlimited, TFR established for President Carter's state funeral. Turkey's Baykar acquires Piaggio Aerospace. Delta and college team's jet narrowly avoid collision. Welcome to Airborne Unlimited. I'm your host, Holland Lee. Let's get into today's stories. TFR established for President Carter's state funeral. Pilots operating in the Washington, D.C. area are advised that the FAA will issue temporary flight restrictions via NOTAMs in advance of President Jimmy Carter's state funeral on January 9, 2025. The TFRs are intended to increase security restrictions in the DC SFRA and the DC FRZ airspaces. Prior to operations, pilots are strongly advised to check the NOTAMs frequently for further details and possible changes. For the DC SFRA, the following additional restrictions will be in effect. VFR/IFR transit flights not landing or departing an SFRA airport or loitering within the SFRA are not permitted. Part 93.339, which authorizes VFR traffic pattern operations at SFRA airports, will be suspended. For the DC FRZ, the following additional restrictions will be in effect. DoD, law enforcement, and air ambulance operations will be permitted within the DC FRZ. All aircraft except approved diplomatic flights arriving and/or departing from Joint Base Andrews must coordinate with and receive approval from the Air Support Operations Center. Foreign state aircraft with a State Department-issued diplomatic clearance are authorized to land at Joint Base Andrews only. Part 93 and NOTAM 42565, which authorizes operations at the Maryland 3 airports, Potomac Airfield and College Park Airport, will be suspended. After the break, financially troubled Silver Airways files for bankruptcy.
The legendary BD4C program is building an exciting future for those who want a rugged 4-seat family flyer with a proven history. The SureWings program produces a complete kit and builder assist program that gives you everything you need to be flying a BD4CS in record time. For conventional kit builders, BD Aviation has parts, partial kits, and full kits for the 190-mile-per-hour BD4C that has logged thousands of hours. Visit SureWings.com and BDAviation.com for more details.
I'm currently using the Hartsell Talon, by far the best aerobatic propeller ever come out.
I use the Trailblazer. It adds performance to the Super Decathlon and dependability, and it's rugged.
Hartsell's been an excellent partner for Whip Air, just in terms of your product support as well as keeping an eye on the market and developing new products that meet demand.
It's helping us all have better performing airplanes.
It's such a proud honor to fly behind that propeller.
Welcome back. Now let's take a trip around the patch for some shorter stories. Financially troubled Silver Airways files for bankruptcy. Silver Airways, based in South Florida, has filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection after over a year of financial tension. The airline has reassured customers that all tickets will be upheld and operations will continue as normal. The carrier's financial hardships emerged in early 2023 when it was nearly evicted from Fort Lauderdale-Hollywood International Airport over unpaid fees. The Broward County Commission noted payment issues tracing back to 2021, totaling almost $1 million. G750TP light turboprop aircraft continues flight tests. The first very light turboprop aircraft built in Slovenia successfully completed its maiden flight at Maribor Edvard Ružđan Airport in Maribor, Slovenia. The aircraft is powered by the Turbotech TPR90 turboprop that has a patented regenerative system that captures exhaust heat to reduce fuel consumption and lowers operating costs over the lifetime of the aircraft. Parker Solar Probe makes history with closest pass. NASA's Parker Solar Probe came within 3.8 million miles of the Sun on December 24th and survived, operations teams have confirmed. The closest approach flyby occurred at 6:53 a.m. Eastern, while the spacecraft was cruising at a blistering 430,000 miles per hour. There was no lack of drama, however, as the spacecraft did not send any messages until the night of December 26th, when mission specialists were crowded around a control room waiting to hear from Parker. The expected signals actually arrived a few seconds early. Uncertainty surrounds recovery of Navy fighter jet. The Navy is still trying to decide whether or not to recover the FA-18 Super Hornet that was downed by a surface-to-air missile in an apparent friendly fire incident on December 22nd. Several factors complicate this, including the possibility of Houthi attacks. The aircraft was launched from the carrier USS Harry S. Truman and was conducting strikes against Yemen's Houthi rebels when it was struck by a missile from the guided missile cruiser USS Gettysburg. The pilot and weapons system officer ejected from the aircraft safely. That's it for today's trip around the patch. Let's get back to the rest of the news. Turkey's Baykar acquires Piaggio Aerospace. The government of Italy approved the sale of longtime manufacturing and aerospace company Piaggio Aerospace to the Turkish firm Baykar, who said the acquisition will expand its reach in the EU. It may also give Baykar access to the U.S. F-35 program through Piaggio, who supplies some components of the F-135 engine. Turkey had been part of the Lockheed Martin-led F-35 program with several of its companies making parts for the aircraft until 2019, when the U.S. suspended the arrangement after the Turkish government decided to purchase the Russian S-400 air defense systems. In a statement from the Ministry of Business and Made in Italy, Industry Minister Adolfo Urso said, quote, "The relaunch of the company is guaranteed with a clear and ambitious industrial vision. After 6 years of waiting, we are giving Piaggio Aerospace a future, a strategic asset for our country with a long-term production perspective, safeguarding corporate complexes and workforce," end quote. Founded in 1884 as a manufacturer for the rail industry, Piaggio evolved into an aviation and aerospace company that produced the well-known Avanti and Avanti EVO business aircraft, and more recently UAVs, with its P-1HH Hammerhead and the P-180 Avanti unmanned aircraft. After these messages, Delta and college team's jet narrowly avoid collision.
Meet the first of a new generation of the M-Class family. The M700 Fury. An aircraft worthy of the name, an indomitable force. The M700 Fury transcends traditional limits. With more power, blistering performance, a finely appointed interior, and the luxury of what matters most. Time. Experience the Fury. Join the legacy.
Welcome back. Delta and college team's jet narrowly avoid collision. The FAA is investigating a near miss between a college basketball team's private jet and a Delta commercial flight. The airline is complying with the probe that the team's jet may be blamed for the incident. The event occurred at around 4:30 p.m. on Friday, December 27th. The private jet, operated by Key Lime Air, was carrying Gonzaga University's men's basketball team to Los Angeles for a game against UCLA the next day. Delta Flight 471 was preparing to take off from LAX, headed to Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport on an Airbus A321. At the same time, Key Lime Air Flight 563 was touching down at LAX after a 2-hour flight from Spokane International Airport. ATC directed Key Lime Air Flight 563 to hold short of crossing a runway at LAX because a second aircraft was taking off from the runway at the time. FAA representatives said, quote, "When the Embraer E-135 jet proceeded to cross the hold bars, ATC told the pilots to stop. The jet never crossed the runway edge line," end quote. ATC audio confirmed this, with the controller rapidly instructing the E-135 pilots to stop, stop, stop. Luckily, the E-135 came to a stop just in time for the Delta flight to lift off and continue the trip as scheduled. And that's our show for today. You can catch episodes of Airborne on YouTube, Roku, or Fire TV. Just search for Aero-News or Airborne. And don't forget to follow us on social media. Thanks for watching.